Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another training yet again with Scented Success Academy. That's a mouthful. Maybe one of these days, after many trainings, I will actually say that a little smoother. But anyways, welcome again to Ascended Success Academy. Say that 3 times. I'm your host, Megan Clark, and if you're not familiar with me, I'm so excited that you decided to click on this video. If you're not already a part of the amazing, the incredible team, Faith and Soul, if you stumbled upon this video or if you personally follow me, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate it. This week's training is going to be a little bit short and sweet, to the point. We're going to cover 2 things this month. Sorry, 2 things this week. The 2 things we're going to cover is, for one, how to create a VIP group, or if you wanted to do, like, for example, a private party group on Facebook, what that looks like, how you can set it up. I'm probably just going to honestly cover the basics on that. Maybe at some point we can choose like a specific day where we're solely focusing on a party in general. In fact, I might actually do a training the last week of this month, because um I actually have a Facebook party that I'll be doing for a couple of days for a customer of mine. So I think that once I start setting that up, that's when I'll do the recording, so that way you can see it in real time. All right. But we're basically going to cover the basics of how to create a private group, whether it's a VIP group or if you're doing, again, a Facebook party for somebody. Also, we're going to go over how to create, or otherwise where to go to establish like an email contact list. So this could be either where you can go to email out your team members, where you can email out your customers. There are actually 2 different places that you can go to do this. And then I'll walk you through that real briefly as well. If you have any questions as far as what you see, or maybe something that you've like stumbled across that is a bit of a roadblock for you, or if you have further questions about what we're covering specifically today in this training, be sure and comment below on this specific video. Otherwise, if you want to, feel free to reach out to me personally. Otherwise, just it would be helpful if you comment on this video. Also, before we get started, one thing that you can also help me with, I really would appreciate it, is if you feel that this specific video, if you found something that clicked with you, that you found insightful or otherwise helped you out, give me a thumbs up. Please give me a like. This actually pushes this video out to other consultants, Scentsy or not, because to be honest, the specific group creating on Facebook is actually really for anybody, not just Scentsy consultants. But also, if you can share this with somebody that might actually find this helpful, I would also be very much appreciative. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Let's see, let's go over here. There we are. Share screen. I should be able to see my screen now. And I think the first thing that we're going to do, so I don't get kicked out, because if you know, you know, is we're going to go over where you can email your customers. So first, we're actually on Workstation. I've already logged in. This is the main menu. So what you want to go to is you're going to go to Contacts, and then from there, you're going to scroll down, and then you're going to click on Create Email. But first, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I guess we'll actually do that first. We'll go there. So create an email without going into too much detail. You have 2 options here. So option 1, you can see at the front, the very start, is marketing email. So this is basically if you're wanting to specifically talk about a specific product, if you're wanting to focus on, for example, the flash sale that we had the other day, anything that you're wanting to drive sales for specifically, you can click onto that. This is actually the newer way, and improved for sure, way that you can email your customers. I highly recommend it because it's more user friendly. As you can see here, there are a couple of templates that you can choose from. So for example, if you're pulling photos from Workstation, if you're pulling and saving photos from your PWS, your website, Facebook page, if you're like me, I like creating through Canva. Just really depends on what you're working with. To be honest with you, the bottom 2 I very rarely use, because I feel like that the simpler we keep it, the easier it'll be for not only you, but then your customers as well. I tend to focus on the 4th one down. So this one right here that's titled Single Product Marketing. This is typically the one that I like to focus on. However, if you're not really wanting to put a lot of verbiage, this would be the one that you would select. when you select whatever template you're wanting to work with, it's going to show you first before you even get started what it visually will look like, not only to you and your customer on your mobile device, but then also if you click on the left-hand icon, it's going to show you visually how it's going to appear on their computer. All right, so for example, if we were to say use template, this is pretty much what it looks like. I personally do all this on my phone. However, I feel like that you'd have more room to work with if you do it on your computer. However, I prefer to do it on my phone because I feel like that majority of my customer base works on their phone. They're on their phone a lot. They're looking at my website a lot on their phone, just simply from what I've asked them. And so I feel like this is why I want to stick to um let me go back here. Back to, oh, sorry about that. You aren't really supposed to see that. Let's see. We're gonna go contacts and then back to where we were because it sent me all the way back and I did not mean to do that. Sorry about that. So we're gonna go back to create email and then marketing email. But I just really wanted to not necessarily show you like how to set it up, but just where you can go. I feel like that beyond that, it's fairly user friendly. So let's see. So for example, let's just click on the other one. So single product marketing. And again, I like to look at what it's going to be view-wise from the phone. So I'm going to go ahead and click on use template. So this little gray box here is basically where you would upload your image. So if you were to tap on that, you're going to see in the far right-hand corner, this little bubble, you're going to see like where it looks like a mountain and there's like an arrow pointing up and like the sun in the right-hand corner. You would actually want to click on that. And then from there, you would find the photo that you're wanting to specifically upload. My personal opinion, I'll really throughout the week, I like to focus pretty much on like maybe 1 to 2 items at a time, usually just one. So maybe like the warmer of the month and scent of the month, or it could be the charitable warmer. Lately, I would say that I've been emailing out my customers no more than about 3 times a week. I don't want to necessarily bombard them, but at the same time, I don't want to not contact them enough. Hopefully that makes sense. But being that I'm emailing them at least a minimum of 3 times, I'm sorry, the maximum of 3 times a week, I'm able to stretch out what I'm specifically focusing on in my emails. So that's pretty much the templates there. This one, if you chose this one and it says like, for example, section 1 header text, this would where your title would go. And then section 1 body text is going to be like everything else, like information wise. So if you're wanting to share how much a product is, or maybe perhaps when they can get it in their possession, when they can place their order for it. I love using ChatGPT. So typically, whatever it is that I'm talking about product wise, I'm definitely going over to ChatGPT and I'm providing whether I'm copying and pasting from Workstation, from the news tab, or I'm copying and pasting from our website, whatever the case may be, or maybe even using my own lingo, my own verbiage. I'm getting that from ChatGPT and I'm specifically asking it to not only give me a title for my email, but then verbiage to put in the email as well, and it formats it, which is great. And then before you finish up, you always want to put a subject line here. Again, I love, as you can see up above, I usually will ask ChatGPT as well to give me a subject title to put that's going to be catchy. I don't really technically recommend attaching your image as a file. That's really the old way of how we used to send an email to our customer. Sorry to take a drink break. That's really the old school way. I wouldn't worry about that because I personally, unless I know somebody's actually telling me like, hey, I'm sending an email to you, or hey, I need you to sign over this document, I'll open that file. Otherwise, most people are not going to open a file. So you're better off just uploading your image here, putting your text in. One really cool thing, if you may not know this, is that you can actually click on where it says the word shop. Let's just say you're focusing, for example, on the charitable cause warmer for your email. You want to go to your website. You want to find where you're you're finding a party on your website. Then you're going to search for the charitable warmer. Okay. Hopefully you follow me so far. And then you're gonna go to the top of the bar, where the charitable warmer is at once you've opened the party on your website, and you're gonna copy and paste that specific hyperlink that's gonna lead your customer to the charitable warmer, okay? Because we're gonna make it a lot easier for them. So that way they don't have to search your website for the specific product. So what we're gonna do is, in theory, you would already have that copy and pasted the shopping link, right? That's gonna lead to that. For example, the charitable warmer. You're gonna click on shop. Then from there, see where it has that little hyperlink? You would click on the little, we'll say like pen. It looks like a crayon or a pen, and you would delete that out. And then in theory, once you delete that out, which is your main website, your PWS, you would then post that specific link that's going to take them to whatever product it is that you're wanting to focus on for that one email. Okay. All right. So let's go back. Let's not make sure we go all the way back. So another thing that I want to show you, we're going to go back to contacts, and then let's go back to create email. So the second box here that says communication email. So this is really something that if you're wanting to maybe touch base with your customers, maybe it's not sales driven. You're not wanting to track who's clicked on your shopping link. You're not wanting to necessarily track like in general, like who's opened your email, but you're maybe wanting to check in with your team members, or you're wanting to check in with your customers and maybe give them some insight on what's going on with, your personal life and things that are happening with your family, or, day to day, or the holidays, etc. You would click on that. So basically the difference between the two is this set of templates, Scentsy is not going to need to track, like if there's not going to be a link per se that they're going to track heavily as far as who's looking into and who's not. But as you can see here, the templates are pretty much exactly the same. All right, the other place that I want to go to is in the same area. So you're going to click on contacts. And then when you click on emails, any email that you send out, whether it's to your team members, whether it's to your customers, they're all going to be listed here. So for example, you see these two here that I've already opened. So there's they haven't obviously been sent yet, but then you can see that I've started working on the email. Now the other ones, these are the ones that I've sent. What's really cool, without me actually like clicking on the details, yeah, so like see this one was actually one that I did through Scentsy Connect app. So as you can see here, there was one, because when you send out emails through Scentsy Connect app, and it's the ones that Scentsy is suggesting for us to send, those are going to be sent one-on-one. So that's why you see there's like sent one, delivered one. I feel like there was one more thing that I wanted to show y'all. Oh, so let's go back to where we were. So we're going to go back to contacts and create email. And I'm not sure if it's going to let me send something if it's blank. Well, let's just try anyways. Let's just go to that one. Use template. I think I can actually show y'all. Let's see. Preview and send. Yeah. So even though I haven't technically uploaded anything, once you have everything set and ready to go, I highly recommend sending a test email. As you can see here at the bottom of the screen, you can send a test email to yourself. I definitely, like 100% recommend doing this before you send it out to anybody else, is to send a test email. That way you can make sure, is there any kind of like mistake that you maybe want to correct, or maybe you want to put more space within like your text. Whatever the case may be, you get to preview it before you send it out to everybody. Another thing I want to show you is here at the top. So the two. So the old school way that we used to do this is we would actually like copy and paste, or we would go to our contacts and click on all the names that we wanted to send. And in the past, we would only be able to send so many emails at a time, which obviously took time in itself, right? So one really cool factor, and I'm going to show you how you can basically get to this point. So if you hit the little plus sign, as you can see, these are tags that I have personally created for my customers. This is something I fairly am I'm not necessarily new to the concept because I use Project Broadcast, but definitely new to it in a way of using it with the communications with the emails with our workstation. Okay. So as you can see here, these are all custom tags that I've created. Now the default tags at the very top, those are ones that Scentsy have already done for us. So those are already set. So as you can see here, there's a customer tab at the very top. So that's all the customers that have ordered from me since joining Scentsy. The newsletter subscribers, those are the ones who have actually opted in on their end, because at this point we're not able to do that for them. They have to do that for themselves. And then Scentsy Club customer, that's one who specifically wants info for Scentsy Club. Now, everyone else below that, which is custom tags, those are tags that I have personally created. So not that I'm going to send the email, but for example, let's just say I'm sending an email out and I'm wanting my Scentsy Club subscribers to know about, let's see, yeah, do I want to do that? Let me think. Let's do something else. Let's do, I don't know. Okay, so let's just say we've got a new Disney collection coming out, okay? And as you can see, I have like a tag that's specific for my Disney people. They love Disney, or maybe they've ordered something with Scentsy, Disney in the past. So those are really your target audience, okay? So then what you're going to want to do is, because you want to maximize the potential of getting sales, right? So by doing that, you really want to hone in on those specific, your specific audience and tailor to them. So if it's a Disney related item, first and foremost, out the gate, who you want to contact is going to be those that are Disney fans. So in theory, if it's an email that's referring to something like that, I would click on the box where it says Disney fan. Okay. Then period, I'm going to hit close. So whoever you're sending the email out to, whoever your target audience is, and then see, as you can see, then it has been automatically added into who it's going to. Now, the really cool part is that this is one email that I've put up, right? I've created, I've designed with the template in mind. But then what's awesome is that Scentsy's going to send that out to all 7 people that are connected within that specific tag. How cool is that? Now, if you're wanting to create a tag, and I'm going to see something real quick. I don't think I can do it. Maybe I can here. Let's see. Oh yeah, cool. Okay, so it's also, so you can manage tags on your workstation, which is really awesome. So we're gonna go to manage tags. So this is actually if you're wanting to create like a specific tag for a group of people. So like, for example, one thing I personally like to do is anytime I have a party of any sort, I go in here now in my workstation and I create a tag. As you can see, the very first one there is Crystal L's home party. So anybody who was a guest or anybody that ordered from Crystal's home party, their name automatically will get tagged with that specific tag that says Crystal's home party. Now, this is fairly user friendly. So as you can see here, whatever tag that you're going to create, you're going to click on the box at the top. You would type in whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and you would hit this plus sign. Then from there, what you would want to do is, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to show you all my contact information, but then you would go to either click on where it says my contacts there at the top left, or if you want to go like a little bit slightly like a longer route, you can always go here where it says contacts homepage. Then you would want to search your specific customers to be able to attach to that tag from there. All right, so we're pretty much done with that. So now I'm going to hop on over to my Facebook group. Okay. So I'm going to go to my home page. So this is actually where I'm going to show you guys how to create a private group for either a VIP group, or maybe you have somebody who wants to host some sort of style of like an online party. So like I said, I'm not going to go into major detail with this. It's something at the end of this month that I'll for sure show you in depth. But for now, I'm just going to show you in general what this looks like, or like where you can go. So you're going to go to your main profile on your Facebook page. Okay. So go to your page. You're going to click on, I'm going to go back if you didn't see it. You're going to click on the 3 lines on the top left-hand corner. If you're on your computer, it's probably going to look a little bit different. Or if you have an iPhone, it may look different because I have an Android. But you're going to click on the little hamburger, the 3 little lines. And you're going to click on where it says groups. Okay. So you can see here below, these are all the groups that I'm a part of. So then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the plus sign. Okay. So then from there, you're going to create your name of your group. Whatever you do, just make sure you absolutely cannot put the word Scentsy in it. It can be scented, fragrance, but just not Scentsy. Don't overthink this, but if you're like me, my spicy ADHD brain absolutely has to have some kind of like name. And I want it to be unique. However, just don't overthink it. So let's just say, so like, for example, my host is going to have a Facebook party soon. Her name is Asia. So let's go ahead and create hers. We're going to say Asia. I'm going to say, I don't know, something like Asia's scent event. It could be whatever you want. I like to add the person's name, the host name into it, so that way it's easier for the guest to find in case they need to locate it. So this is a question that I asked a lot. So when you're creating a group, a lot of people tend to ask, do you make it private? Do you make it public? In my personal opinion, I like to make it private. Only because I don't want just anybody coming into this group, okay? I don't want just anybody. So that's why I like to make it private. Definitely, if you're doing a VIP group, definitely create it to where it's private because that is the ultimate description of VIP. Like it's exclusive, right? So if it's exclusive, you don't want just anybody participating in there, right? That's what your main page on your Facebook page is for. But if you want to create like a VIP group, that's where you want it to make it private. So we're going to make that private. Now, FYI, just know, unless things have changed, once you decide if it's private or public, I don't believe that you can undo that. I might be wrong about that. And if I am, please somebody correct me in the comments. Otherwise, if I'm not mistaken, oh, look, sorry. It's actually right there in the box. If you just read, and if I just read, it says you can't change this group to public later. Okay. There's FYI, like once it's done, it's done. All right. So clicked on private, visible, all these. Obviously, I don't, let's see, only members can find this group. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep it hidden as well because I don't want anyone else to be able to search for it. Or actually, I take that back. I'm going to say visible because I do want the party guests because it's still private. Let's see, invite followers, send one-time group invites to your current followers. No, I don't want to do, oh, by the way, okay, pause. And I want you to pause this video and I want you to take a screenshot. I want you to write this down because y'all, I can't even tell you how many Scentsy consultants. I love you guys. And if you're my friend and you're watching this video, I'm so sorry. But there are a lot of my friends that are consultants, y'all, that thank goodness it's not as often. But when this feature first rolled out, maybe like a couple months back, I think it was like maybe the beginning of this year. But this is something that I feel like that consultants are rushing through. They're not reading it line for line. And I tell you what, I know this because here's the thing, and you may be able to relate to this. If you find in your settings that a Scentsy consultant or a consultant of any other a friend of yours basically is inviting you to a group and you're like, wait a minute, first off, I didn't even know I was invited. Or if you're like me and it's a Scentsy consultant, I'm like, okay, I know this person is not, and it's definitely not actually intentionally inviting me to this Scentsy party. The reason why you're getting all of these tons and tons of notifications and getting invited to everybody and their mama's party is because of this thing right here. So if you see this line, what does it say? It says invite followers. It says send one-time group invites to current active followers of your profile. We do not want this, okay? We do not want this, period. The only way that you could possibly want to do this is if you were maybe creating like a private group for like your birthday party, okay? Other than that, I don't want everybody that follows me on Facebook to be invited to my VIP group, right? Because once again, it's a very important person. Okay, very important person does not mean all 200, 400 plus people that are following me on Facebook. Okay, like that doesn't mean everybody. So make sure you're gonna unclick that for the love of Pete's sake. Please unclick that. Okay, your friends will thank you later. The other thing here is it says send one-time group invites to people who may be interested in joining your group. Same thing. I don't care if it's your VIP group. I don't care if it's a private group. Please unclick both of these. Unless it's something other than those two things and it's not business related. Like let's just say, for example, you love gardening or you love flowers or plants or you love cats and you're creating a private group for that. That is what that is for. You can definitely, by all means, click on both of those. And if it's a hobby that you're creating for like a fan-based page or a hobby page, by all means, leave both of those marked And that way, whoever Facebook feels like will be interested in the group will be able to join. Otherwise, again, I can't stress it enough, y'all. If it's a VIP group or if it is if it's a Facebook party, unclick both of them. Then we're gonna click on create group. Dun, dun, dun. Now, hopefully, you do have, or you somehow have access to creating like a little cover photo. Let's see. I can go. You don't even have to really worry about any of this. Skip, add a cover photo. So you definitely want to create a cover photo. Sorry, y'all. I don't even know if y'all can see that, but my husband's getting home from work, so my Ring app is going off like crazy. So one thing that I for sure recommend, I feel like I'm saying definitely a lot during this video, and I apologize. But one thing I recommend for sure is getting a cover photo. If you're a Scentsy consultant, more than likely, if you reach out to your sponsor or if you reach out to one of your Scentsy friends, or maybe you're involved in and you're a part of like a Scentsy group or so, there absolutely is somewhere that you can find a cover photo. If not, then they're super easy to create through Canva. If you're familiar with Canva, the free version even, you can do it there too. Just go to Canva, click on the search bar, and then type in like cover photo. Bam, done. Otherwise, I guarantee you, like I said, that there are a lot of groups out there on Facebook that you can find a cover photo for. Otherwise, just a little tip, if you go to your workstation and if you go to where we have the marketing images for Warmer and Scent of the Month, Scentsy's really great with that department about creating a cover photo that specifically focuses on the scent and warmer of the month that you can upload there as well. But for now, we're going to go ahead and skip it. Sorry, I feel like I should just snooze my Ring app. It's gonna go off like crazy. Add a description. I mean, these days you honestly, my opinion, really don't have to put this. I feel like most people in private groups at this point, after the pay me, I really feel like most people are not even gonna read this. To each their own if you want to put something. Otherwise, don't sweat it. I love ChatGPT, so once again, I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm gonna let ChatGPT tell me something to say, especially because I don't want to spend too much time on that. This is important here for sure. So creating a post. This is actually the first post period that your guests or your VIP customers are going to see. So this is something you can always go back and edit it. But for now, this is a keep it short, keep it brief, welcome them to your page, whatever you want to say, but just keep it short and brief to the point. All right, so I'm going to click on done. All right, so then this here is somewhat helpful, especially if you've never created a private group before. Facebook does have some suggestions, as you can see here, where it's like invite at least 15 people. So for sure, hands down, if you have somebody that's hosting a Facebook party with you, I would definitely recommend having them invite at least, I would say no more than about minimum 15 to maybe the no more maximum like 30 people. And I'm gonna try to say another word other than definitely. You for sure want to make sure that they are sticking to that, because sometimes I feel like that party host can get a little like invite happy. So as long as they're keeping it to 15 to 30, and make sure and drive home that they're having very intentional, very specific conversations, that they're inviting them to a party, one-on-one conversations with their friends and family. Just gonna say that. What's really cool too, as you can see here, is there's a checklist. So it's telling you to add a cover photo, just like what we covered earlier. Add a description. You don't have to do that, but you can, to each their own. Create a post. I highly recommend that, like I was saying earlier. Let's see, but for now I'm gonna go ahead and just get out of that list so you can just see what's happening here. The other thing that I would suggest, just a couple of short tips before we wrap this up. Let's see if I can figure out where this is at, because it's been a while. I'm not gonna lie, since I've had an online party. Definitely that's not it. I think it's further. Oh yeah, here it is, further down. You want to click on. I think I want to say think it's group. Oh, actually, let me go back. So not group settings, personal settings. So this is actually what you want to do first. I recommend taking a screenshot of this, because then you want to turn around and make a post about what we're about to do here, so that your party guests do the same thing. So you want to click on personal settings. And then from there, you want to click on manage notifications, and then you would click on all posts. The reason being is that you want to do this you definitely want your party guests to do this, because you don't want them to miss out on anything. But anytime you join a group, if you want in on everything that's being shared, then that's where you want to go into your notifications and click on all posts. Otherwise, if you're maybe in a group that you really don't have to pay as much attention to, but you're just in the group for fun, that's where you can maybe click on off so that way you can actually intentionally search for the group. That's definitely a healthy choice. Or you can click on highlights and then you're just getting pretty much like the newer stuff as it comes along. But this is what you want your party guests to do, hands down, is make sure that they're clicking on where it says all post. So we did that, and like I said, I purposely like to take a screenshot of it and then share that in the group. So then that way they know where to go to and how to change it. The other feature I want to show y'all when you're creating a group is you're going to click on group settings. It's not really necessary, but it's fun. I like details. Is that once you create your cover photo, Facebook is automatically going to pair up a primary color with your cover photo. So that's a lot of fun. We're going to go back. Let's see what else. I feel like there was one more thing. Oh yeah, here it is. So who can approve member request? So pretty much the rule of thumb, and this is different for everybody, is that once you have everything set up and you know that you've had your conversation with your host and your host has said, yes, I have sent out texts and conversations, I've reached out to my people, then at that point, you are more than welcome to send your host an invite to get into this group. I'll show you here in a second how to do that. And then once you invite them and they've accepted the invite, then you're going to want to go to, actually, I'm sorry, y'all. My apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself. So you're going to click on, for now, we'll click on where it says who can approve member requests. All right, so then from there, you're going to click on admins and moderators. So what you would change here in a little bit, and I'll show you where you would go, is because you are an admin and you want your host for now to be a moderator. Now, this might be getting a little ahead of myself. So, but I feel like it is important to say. So if you have somebody that is a party host with you and they decide to join Scentsy and join your team, then that party group then becomes their VIP group. Okay. So if that's the case, that's where you would switch them to be the admin. But for now, because you are the Scentsy consultant, you're the consultant, you're the admin, and they are the moderator. Moderator basically means that they're moderately are things that they can do. So they'll be able to accept, as you can see here, they'll be able to approve member requests, which I highly recommend because in the case, which it does happen, so I'm going to go ahead and warn you, if you haven't had an online party, this does happen on occasion. Every now and then you might get a host that does get click happy, they end by happy. If that's the case, the last thing that you want to do as a host, as a Scentsy consultant, is be approving 40, 30, or like 40 plus, because it does happen. I mean, I've had it to where I had somebody invite like 55 people before. And what happens is that you automatically have to go through for a certain period of time and accept almost all 55 before it invites every single one of them of like the rest. So with that being said, you definitely want to make sure that your host that you make them a moderator so that way they can do that. Because if they choose, which is it's perfectly fine. Like if they've had 45, 55 conversations with 40 to 55 individual people, then by all means, they can for sure accept all those invitations that they've sent out. So yeah, so that's where you would switch that out for sure that you want to do that. Now, let's just say that your VIP group, like your personal VIP group, you do not need to fix this. Like you would just leave it to, oh, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. You would not need to fix this. Yes, you would want to click on where it says admins and moderators. Because same thing, you don't want your yeah, okay, sorry, I confused myself there. So whether you're either way, if you're having a VIP party, a VIP group, or you're having a Scentsy party with somebody else, you're going to want to keep it either way on only admins and moderators. The reason being is that let's just say you get somebody that's either of those groups, right, and you don't really know them that well. They have access. If you say anyone in the group can invite anyone that they know, they have access to inviting other people. I personally like to have a little bit more control over that because I want to make sure like who's coming in and who's coming out of my groups. And I want to make sure too that not only am I aware that they're an actual person, like they're not a bot, they're not like somebody that's gonna come in and wreak havoc in the group, or they're not like a spam type, a profile. So that's where you can make sure and filter that through. So we're gonna click save. And Let's see, post approval, that's another thing you definitely want to change. So we're gonna click on post approval and you want to make sure that you say all posts. So this basically means that yourself and your moderator, so your host that's helping you out as a consultant, you two are the only ones that are going to have access to approving a post, which is for sure what you want. Now, if this was your VIP group, really depends upon like the trust level that you have with your VIPs. I mean, me personally, I don't have a VIP group anymore, but when I did allow anyone to post in there because I did have customers that shared like their orders or maybe they shared like a compliment with me or whatever the case may be that they shared in the group. I loved having that because that way I didn't have to stay glued to my group all day long, that that they interacted in there without me actually having to be in there too. So I'm going to click save. Maybe is it like freezing? Huh, that was weird. Let's try again. Okay, there it goes. That was weird. I feel like that's it. Let's see. Oh, yep. Okay, that's the last thing. So who can post? I say basically anyone in the group because you may have even party guests that may have a question. So that means that they can post in the group, but then you would just approve it. Let's see, you want to keep it sort post. You really want to keep it to where I would personally say like newest, so show all comments with the newest comments first. So that way the most recent post that you've done on either your groups is going to stay to the top. And I feel like that's really about it. I will say I really do like this format. It's a little bit different since the last time I've created a online party group. So I am excited to try out some of these things. But I feel like that's pretty much about it. Let's see, let me go back to the main page. So, okay, so as you can see, my photo's here. Now, in theory, if you invited, which let me show you where to go there. Yeah, so right here, as you can see, you click invite. And then you would want to say, you could say share group, and then you want to click on copy link, and you're going to send that link to whoever it is that is your host. So now obviously if it would be a little different if you were inviting other like your customers to come to your VIP group. So then that way you can actually do a little bit different. You can always click through Messenger and then you could send it to them like individually through Messenger. Otherwise, just go back to where it would say copy link and then text that out one-on-one to those that you want in your group. The other thing is that once you have your party host in here, their photo is going to appear right below yours or right up top of yours. And then I think, let's see if I can do it with mine. No, maybe not. But if you clicked on their photo, basically with these three little lines, it would then actually say if you want to make them an admin or if you want to make them a moderator. And then it sends them an invite to accept that. But that's pretty much about it, I believe. Let me get back to our Zoom screen and stop sharing. Yep. So that's pretty much about it. The other thing that I was going to show you, but it's honestly pretty self-explanatory, just like Workstation, and to be honest, it's probably a lot simpler than Workstation, is your Scentsy Connect app. So if you're a Scentsy consultant and you're not familiar with the Scentsy Connect app, you can go to your, so for me, I have Android, so it's Play Store, but whatever yours is, whether you have iPhone or Android, search for the app. I believe it is called Connect, Scentsy Connect. You may have actually seen it when I shared my screen. I don't know if you could see it or not, but it was at the very top. It was actually a wax bar that's like blue, purple, and white. But that's the Scentsy Connect app. You can email your customers one-on-one through there as well. I don't think that I could be wrong on this one because I haven't honestly played with it because I'm really comfortable with the workstation format, but I'm not sure if there's templates that are on the app. But I do know that you can communicate email wise. In fact, actually, let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. I think I am going to show that to y'all. Sorry, allergies are driving me crazy today. All right, so we're going to share my, oh, whoop, uh-oh. I don't know what I just did. I definitely don't think I shared my screen. Ah, sorry, y'all. Let's see, screen. I think I shared my camera. I don't even what the okay. Let's just share screen. Lord, technology for y'all. All right, so hopefully hopefully y'all can still see my screen at this point. All right, so we're gonna go to the Scentsy Connect app, which is here. So yeah, it is titled Scentsy Connect, literally. And one thing that's really cool, I don't think I have any right now, but as you can see here, the little bubble at the bottom where it says connect, I'm gonna click on that. I really highly recommend doing this if you're not exactly comfortable just yet with sending a more detailed email like I showed y'all earlier to your customers. You can certainly click on where it says product marketing and promotions. As you can see here, as of right now, I don't have any, but this is really cool, you guys, and it is so ridiculously easy to do. So as you can see here, there have been a couple of products, items, etc., that Scentsy has rolled out since April, and it oh, by May 1st. I was like, why does it say May 1st? But it has until, like, basically it'll go away. It'll expire like come May 1st. So it has all these little expiration dates on there. But so which tells me is that if you haven't already done this or if you're not aware of it, you more likely still have these prompts that you can send out. So let's just say I don't think I have anybody that can send them to because I've already sent them, but let's just see what it looks like. So for example, this is the Mother's Day collection. I'm gonna click on promote and I will say choose customer. Now, what's really cool is that let's just say hypothetically, that there were some names where the blank space is at. You would click on their name and then you would click on email and it would automatically send out an email to that customer with your shopping link. And then you're done. How cool is that? I like absolutely love that. But that's really just all that I wanted to share with you on that part. But thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and bearing with me with all the craziness through this video. So far it was a little bit of a trip, but hopefully you got something out of it. Like I said, if you have any questions, or if maybe you tried out as far as setting up a VIP group for your customers, or maybe you've had your first ever, hands down, your first ever Facebook party, for sure let me know how it goes. I'm excited. Like I said, I dabble here and there with Facebook parties. I try to do a little bit more other than doing parties online. But I do find that it is obviously a little bit easier to do with my customers that live out of town, live further away, and I just make them a little bit more interactive. But like I said, make sure and subscribe to this channel because at the end of this month, I am going to walk you through step by step as I create my own Facebook party for my host. So thank y'all again for hanging out with me. I hope y'all have an incredible Easter weekend. And if you're catching this at a later time, I hope you have an incredible day. But until then, I will catch y'all next week. Bye, y'all.